What is going on, everybody on YouTube? Steve here, Raiken Profit, coming to you guys live with another live show with Jason T. Smith of the Thrifting Board and Jason T. Smith of the Thrift Hunters TV show. So if you're looking at him right now and you're like, he looks really familiar, you may have seen him on Spike TV once or twice before, running around like a crazy person buying and reselling stuff. Yeah, we have a really cool show tonight. The topic of the show is selling on eBay the right way. And yes, there are two different choices. You have the right way and the wrong way. And I've made the mistake of doing it the wrong way, and I've done it the right way. But let's get things straight and centered for you guys today. So yeah, we got Jason T. Smith. We got a really big show tonight, so really excited about it. But yeah, Jason, why don't you say hello to everybody and tell them who you are and what you do.
What's happening, everybody? My name is Jason T. Smith, and I used to be on a show called Thrift Hunters, and I currently run the Thrifting Board. Hello. And I also do a show on YouTube on Thursday nights called Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay, and we're actually back this week after being off for 2 weeks because I was on vacation. But I've been garage selling since I was 6 and selling online since 2000. So this is this is all I do. All this behind me is my domain.
Awesome. And you've actually got an employee helping you out, right?
I wish. I need one. So I went out there. I did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I hired somebody new. They quit after day 1. I hired somebody else new. I let them go after day 2.
Wow. Now, is it because you were too hard on them, or they couldn't handle it, or what happened? They run to the thrift store and start doing it themselves?
No, the first one said she couldn't come back because there were stairs.
Her stairs got in the way.
Yeah, but I told her. It's not like she was 80, by the way.
Stop going to the convalescent home to hire people. To get them cheap.
I said there's stairs. And then the second one just couldn't grasp it and made a bunch of listings that were just so messed up. I spend more time fixing them, and I'm like, just not working out.
So if you guys can handle climbing a flight of stairs and you know how to sell on eBay, go over to jasontsmith.com and fill out an application. Yeah, guys, but pumped up for the show. If you are new to YouTube live shows, there is a comment section on the right-hand side. So I see a bunch of people in the comments already. Want to shout some people out. We got Body Comp saying, hey, Jason. We got Mr. Lister. We've got Kay Copsy in the house. Angelique, Kimberly, Jeff Barnes, George saying hi from Hawaii. So we've got Hawaii in the house. That's
what's
really
up,
cool.
Hawaii?
I bet you it's beautiful over there right now. Bet you it's nicer than Connecticut where I live. I don't know about Las Vegas where you are, but it's just starting to get warm over here. So excited about that. Dustin Doyle.
It's gorgeous here. Let me see. Right now we are rocking 84, baby.
84. I love it.
84 degrees.
So if you guys do have a question during the show, put question in big caps, and Jason and I will be monitoring the feed from time to time to answer questions. The goal of the show tonight is to help you in your eBay business. So we're going to be talking about how to do it the right way. And Jason's going to bring his experience of about 16 years on eBay to you guys live and direct. But I do want to say, if you want to learn more about Jason before the show, you could find him over at the Thrifting Board on Facebook, which is a free Facebook group with over 11,000 members now?
Yeah, we're closing in on 12,000. I think we're like 11,700.
Cool.
And we just started in August, so that's a pretty good number for not even being a year old.
Yeah, that's an awesome number, and I hear really good things about it. So check it out for sure. But in today's show, we're going to be talking about eBay versus Amazon, tips for new sellers to find a niche or a niche, whatever you want to call it. The keys to success, hiring employees, which Jason's going to need some help with, and the biggest mistakes to avoid, like getting too steep of a staircase in your house. So yeah, let's dive into the show and talk about eBay versus Amazon. As you guys know, I'm really big into Amazon FBA right now. I'm not quite at the full-time level, but I do put in a good amount of hours per week with Amazon FBA. Recently, I have started up my eBay business as well, so I could kind of take a look at both sides, and that's how I quit my original job 3 years ago, selling on eBay and Craigslist. So I've been there. I've seen both sides, but I want to know, Jason, why eBay over Amazon for you? I'm not sure if you sell on Amazon, but I know you're primarily an eBay guy. What's your argument for eBay versus Amazon?
See all these CDs right here? That's all Amazon. I do sell a lot on Amazon. I just don't do FBA. But I gotta tell you though, watching your cross country trek, even though you skipped me twice, made me want to do it because I not that I didn't realize it happened, but I saw a side of FBA that I just wasn't in the forefront of my brain. So I see my friends go buy, 1,000 widgets and send in 1,000 widgets, and I see you go to a thrift stores and pawn shops and buy one-offs and send that stuff in. And that got my juices flowing. I haven't done anything yet, but I was like, I should probably do some of that. But I walked ASD last year with Chris Green. ASD is the wholesale show where a lot of people sell on Amazon. They buy mass quantities wholesale and to flip it. And I walked that show and realized it wasn't for me. I am all about the treasure hunt. I don't care to buy 1,000 things because I know I'm getting that 1,000 things. But if I go to this thrift store or that record store, you never know when you're going to hit the Holy Grail. And you'll never hit the Holy Grail when you're buying wholesale. And, part of my life is not just paying the bills. I like to wake up with a smile every day. And when I walked ASD, if I switched to doing that solely, I knew I would not wake up with a smile, and I would be grumpy and angry all the time. And I've been there. I've been at jobs where I was grumpy and angry all the time. I don't want to go back.
Yeah, it's a lot more touchy-feely with eBay. It's customer to customer, and you really get to know the you really get to know the item. You take a picture of it, you measure it, you create your own description. It's really touchy-feely, and it's fun. For me, I'd say definitely eBay is a lot more fun. But Amazon, I know what you're saying, right? Especially like ASD and the private label folks. I mean, if you guys are watching and you're not sure what ASD is, it's pretty much a trade show where a lot of Amazon folks will go and they'll try to find products and create relationships with these suppliers and manufacturers to be able to, buy large volumes of items and send them in. And there's really no customer relationship. With Amazon FBA, right? You buy it all and you send it in and you kind of forget about it, where with eBay, you're communicating with the customers. You're really, I don't know, it's just more touchy-feely right there. What are your thoughts on, and this is one of my arguments when it comes to eBay versus Amazon, what are your thoughts on like the time that it takes with eBay? Because there's a lot of people who don't have a lot of time and they don't realize how much time eBay takes until you jump into it.
Yeah, and that's why you need a good assistant, because if you want to take it to the next level, you need an assistant. So I'm assistantless right now, which we all know, but I have a friend who sells online, and I know you have never said these words. I have never said these words. She was caught up. So she had everything listed that she had purchased, and she's not doing like 5-10 things. They got over 1,500 items up, her and her husband. And I said, hey, can I hire you to take some of my pictures? Because that's the bulk of the work that you need an assistant for. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, and this is nothing against any about any assistant I've ever had or my friend who did it for me. You can teach any monkey to take pictures, because all you got to do is like, this is how you aim. This is how I want a pair of jeans photographed. This is how I want, So once you get that done, you can leave that person to take all your photos, and then you're good to go. And that leaves you more time to list, and you can teach them to list too. Leaves you more time to source, to correspond with your customers, to find other ways to make money, because there are other avenues I like doing that make me money, just not so much FBA.
Yeah, that's a really good point you made. I actually had a phone call yesterday with my friend Jamie. So shout out to you, Jamie. She gave me a call and she said, Steve, I worked out this deal with a woman who, I don't know what happened, if somebody passed away or what the story was, but she ended up working out this deal where she was going to consign about 1,000 items for a woman, 1,000 clothing items. And she was calling me up to say, to ask Steve, how long does it realistically take to list up an item, to picture it, to create the description and everything. And to make a long story short, she didn't realize how big of a job she jumped into. I mean, imagine if somebody gave you 2 or 3 weeks to list up 1,000 clothing items, Jason. Could you pull that off?
Boy, that'd be tricky. By myself, probably not. But I would, I would call my friend who lives here and say, hey, we got this deal. So, hey, before we go on, I just logged in as a third person. So when you have 3 people, Raiken, if you don't know this, now you can see the down below.
Really?
Yeah. See, when you only have 2 people, you only see who's talking. You don't see down below. But when you add a third one, I just added myself twice, you can see the down below. So I can see you down here. Where are you? Right down here.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So, yeah. So all you can do is log in yourself on another computer, and then you can see what's going on down below.
All right, this video's over. We don't have to give any more tips for the night.
but getting back to what you were saying, yeah, I would find my local peeps who I know who know what they're doing and say, all right, this deal's too good to pass up. I need this help. So, you know, we're going to break it up this way, and and that's how we'll do it.
So let's kind of switch topics a little bit. Let's say that somebody's watching right now and they're brand spanking new, right? Maybe they've sold on Craigslist or Etsy, or maybe they're just looking to make a few bucks. They've seen your videos, or they're in your Facebook group, and they're thinking to themselves, I want to get started making money online with reselling, but Amazon FBA kind of seems too tricky. There's all these logistics. The fees are high. These are common things that I hear from people that are new, and they're thinking to themselves, I want to start with eBay, and maybe they sign up for their eBay account, and they list up a few items, and then before you know it, eBay warns you of your selling limit. What tips can you give for somebody who maybe they've got a couple hundred items to list up and they're already getting hit with that selling limit? Any tips to get that raised or increased, or what direction to go?
Well, to back up, I mean, when I started, if they had limits, we didn't know them, and none of us ever hit them. And I'm guessing there were no limits. It was the wild, wild west. So anyone who's new, we didn't have pictures. We didn't have credit card payments. I used to get quarters taped to pieces of paper in an envelope. I mean, it was crazy. it was the Wild West.
Mail orders, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tons of money orders, cash. I mean, all of it.
Can you bring us back then real quick before you talk about the selling limits? What was it like you sold an item, because this is just so freaking exciting. You sold an item, and there's no PayPal, right?
Oh, yeah. There was no PayPal. There was no credit cards.
So what happens?
You know, and there was no pictures. So when you bought and sold, sold on faith alone, because, you know, if you were the buyer, you had to hope the description was accurate. I mean, nowadays we all still buy stuff that we get it and go, that's not really accurate. And we even had pictures to look at. But back then there were no pictures. So, you know, you would win, you would sell an item, then you would send the buyer your home address. Hey, in case you ever want to kill me, here's where I live. I mean, of course you get it anyway, but now I had to send through an email, and then they would either send me cash or money orders or checks, and then you got to go to the bank and wait for the check to clear. I mean, yeah, it was crazy. So anyone who thinks it's tough now, not that it was tough or easy, it was just very Wild West, where you weren't sure if you were going to get the money, if you weren't sure if you're going to get your products, because nobody was held accountable, and that's the reasons that things have been put into place, like charging the fee on the shipping, because what people were doing to skirt paying fees, where they would sell iPads for $1 and then charge $900 for shipping. So that's how they were like, oh, I'm going to pay $1. I'm going to pay my closing fee on $1.
We're so lucky. We're so lucky now.
Oh, I know. Because, you know, I don't care how many people complain about being a buyer-seller. For the most part, everything eBay has done has had our back on both sides of it. And, you know, if you weren't around back in the day, you don't know. But shit got hairy and scary and weird. Nowadays, way more protected. But to get to your actual question, yeah, there's limits, and there's limits because what happened too in the past, and that's why I want to bring up the past, is people would list a whole bunch of stuff, they'd sell, they would get the money, and then they just disappear. So there was no checks and balances. And so they put limits on it, and I get it. And I get the limits are low, man. You start, and you sell your first thing, and you got 4 more listed, and you go to list number 6, and they're like, nope, can't do it. You just got to bide your time. So what I would do is I'd do a few things. I would start an Amazon account if you don't have one, and list a few things merchant fulfilled, not FBA. I would also work on a Craigslist ad. I would work on using OfferUp on your phone. I would read up on Etsy. So I would look at every avenue that we all use, part-time or full-time, and start, while you're waiting for your limits to get raised, start to read up and start to use the other platforms. So you could be well-rounded from the get-go. And then once you start getting feedback and you're having happy customers, you can call eBay and go, can I get my limits raised before your normal time frame. And if you show progress and you show good sales and happy customers, then yeah, they'll do that for you. And it's not automatic, but you know. And here's the key, Raiken. Here's the key to anything. When you call any customer service, whether it's eBay, whether it's Target because you got something wrong, if you call with emotion, nothing will ever get done. But if you call with just facts, shit'll get done.
That's a really good tip right there. Thanks for sharing that, especially the phone call and the emotion and everything like that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next question is, you on the hot seat, photography. When you're selling on Amazon, right, most of the times you're just piggybacking on a listing, and they've got really strong criteria in terms of how the pictures are going to look. So usually it's a top-notch listing, not all the time. But with eBay, one of the things I really focus on with clothing is differentiating myself from the competition with really high-quality photography. Any tips for that? And also, can you touch on, are pictures really that important? Or do you think some people are just a little too anal when it comes to pictures? Or do you think you can never be anal enough when it comes to making really high quality, taking really high quality pictures?
All right, so I'm going to go kind of somewhere in between. I don't often use all 12 pictures because I would say a lot of things I sell don't need 12. So, for instance, if I'm selling a T-shirt, unless there's writing on the sleeve, I take one front and one back. I then duplicate it when I'm editing them, so I don't have to take 4 pictures. I only take 2. And on the front, I crop to the artwork, so I would crop right to the thrifting board, and then I'd have a full shot of the shirt, and then same on the back if there's artwork on the back. If there's no artwork on the back, no need to. And so I'm good with that. And if I sell a postcard, front, back, there is nothing else. I've seen postcards with like 7, 8 pictures. What else are you showing me? It's a postcard. It's a flat, pretty much 2D object. Yes, I know it's 3D really, but it's thin. And so, but if I'm selling this, Raiken, if I'm selling this, then I will use all 12 pictures because you're going to want to see, you're going to want to see every angle. You're going to want to see the back where it hooks on. So this has so much depth and stuff to it.
Details.
You need your 12 pictures. But, if you're selling this CD, front, back for sure, and maybe an inside shot. That's it. That's it, man. So I say somewhere in the middle. So don't go hog wild when you don't have to because it's a waste of your time. And now I'm caught on my jackalope. Oh, yeah. My jackalope has wrangled me. But do take quality pictures. Now, here's some tips. I just bought this brand new Canon, and the reason I bought this was for one purpose. Well, 2 purposes. It's a little bit better than the last camera I have, but it has the 1-to-1 ratio. And what
you're looking at, 260?
That is, I don't know. No, it's the SX700.
Wow,
nice shot.
Nice camera.
About $300. It's got built-in Wi-Fi, but what's better is it has the 1-to-1 ratio. So what you're looking for is the number 1, semicolon 1. And that lets you take square photos right on your camera. And eBay gives us square photos. I spent all these hours editing 2 square. Now I can just take square photos.
That's really cool right there. What tips do you have for adjusting like the lighting and the contrast or any of the settings? Do you get deep into the settings? For me personally, the only thing I ever really change once I get the camera set up is sometimes I'm adjusting like the contrast and the brightness depending on the color and how much light I have coming into the room. Do you mess with the settings much or no?
Now this is brand new. I haven't used it much, so I haven't got deep into it, but I have good enough lighting that when I look at my photos after the fact, other than a few colors, it's pretty much dead on. So I don't have to, and that's your goal. Get your lighting so correct that you don't have to futz around with it too much. Now that being said, there's a few colors that come out wonky. Purples are tough. Some greens are tough. Like I sold this green bedazzled dress that it was true emerald green, and when you took the picture, it came out like aquamarine blue. So when you took the picture, it pretty much looked like that.
Yeah.
Okay? And it was more like this. And I looked at every eBay seller, and not one of them took the time to alter the color. So even though they called it green in their title, it looked aquamarine. So that's the one time where I sat down and I just held the dress up and I looked at my screen and I kept working on altering the color until I saw the exact same green. And I had 2, and they sold like that.
There's a question that came through, and it's kind of backtracking a little bit, but it's a really good question from Nick Garces. And the question was, I was once told by an eBay rep that the more photos, the higher it will rank your listing in the search. Is that true?
Well, I don't know, and no one knows. They say that, and that's fine. And this is a good time to put out the warning. If you're paying for people to tell you how to game Cassini, and Cassini is eBay's search algorithm, if you're paying any money for that, you have just flushed your money away. Like the Colonel's secret recipe, only one person knows how it actually works, and he tweaks it every day. So, is that part of it? I think it is. But do I think it's worth being higher in search to waste your time taking more pictures for nothing? Nope. Now, if your items aren't selling and you're like, should I take more pictures? Maybe you're not selling good items, or maybe you're not selling at the right price, or maybe you don't have a good title, because all that plays together. But don't chintz on it. Like I said, if it's a deep 3D object like my jackalope, don't chintz on your pictures. That's for damn sure. But if it's a flat object, there's not a whole lot to do with it.
Right, right. So it's more of like an item to item basis. You wanna make sure to give your customers all the information they're going to need to make a buying decision, but you also have to realize that time is money. So if you've got something like a postcard or something simple that only needs 2 or 3, then let it be. You do want to value your time. Do you have any more tips, Jason? Because this is really cool, talking about the Cassini and the search engine and optimizing for the algorithm to pick you up in the rank. Do you have any other basic tips for ranking your item in a search engine? And if people don't know what I'm talking about, think of it this way. Say you list an item on eBay. Say it's a Ralph Lauren button front shirt, size large. Once you list it, it gets thrown into the search engine, and there's certain things that you can do to allow buyers or customers to be able to find your item. There's certain things you can do to rank yourself higher in the search engine to be more relevant, because that's what you want. You want to be relevant. You want people to find you. So there's certain things you can do to become more relevant. Any tips, Jason, that you have for people right now? We got 153 people live right now watching.
Nice. I think you touched on it. You want a good title, and you want to lead with your best words. Had a gentleman in my group the other day who was like, "Hey, I haven't got any looks on this yet. What do you think?" And my first question always is, "How long's it been up?" Because some people, watch pot never boils. And some people will be like, "It's been 3 days." I'm like, just relax. Go list out then. But no, he said it's been 2 or 3 months, and I said okay. And they looked at the title, and he used adjectives for the first 5 words. He never got to the product name or the actual manufacturer of the product till word 6 and on. And mobile cuts down on what you see, so I go, you led with 5 adjectives. The first one was rare. Get rid of that. So keep it lead now, and take this with a little bit of there's an asterisk. You got a Tommy Bahama shirt, you lead with that, okay? You have there's a brand called Utility that make crappy polyester shirts, but some of them have a few good prints. If I'm selling one of the Utility shirts, I'm not even putting Utility in the title because no one's searching for a Utility shirt. But they make these Vegas like party shirts for the frat boys. So I will lead with all the keywords of that shirt. The brand will not matter because no one's looking for utility. So that's when you don't want to lead with your brand, get rid of it. But if it's Tommy Bahama, if it's Rain Spooner, if it's Ralph Lauren, yes, lead with that, please. Don't lead with 5 descriptors.
Good tip right there. What about one-day shipping? This is one thing I've been kind of dealing with, Jason, is determining if I want to do 1-day shipping or 2-day shipping. Obviously, just being from just thinking logic, people want things fast nowadays. Nobody wants to wait 2 days. When they order something, they want it yesterday. And I run multiple businesses and my time is limited, and I don't want to promise 1 day and then have something come up and I'm out of town. Of course I could shut down my store and all that, but I don't want to ship late or anything. Is 1-day shipping mandatory nowadays? Like, do you recommend 1-day shipping to the people who are in your group and the people that follow you?
I do, and I know it's tough for some people, and some I realize based on other jobs, based on family metrics, based on health, can't do it. So don't try. It'll be better off overall for you if you don't try and just set realistic expectations for your customers. Those who can should absolutely, for a few reasons. That puts you higher in search. And look, it's this world nowadays. This is the world we live in. I don't mind paying shipping, and I charge shipping for some items. I do free shipping, but I will not pay exorbitant shipping, even if it's something I really want. And I won't buy something where somebody's like, I'll ship it in 7 days. No. And those who do ship it late, I'm on them. Like, I got 2 things coming that one was on Kickstarter that was supposed to ship in November, and due to production delays and more excuses than you could shake a stick at, it's now mid-April. And this is going to be a cool item. But my point is, I am very bummed, and they should not have come to Kickstarter yet because obviously they weren't ready. And this other object, the other thing I bought was the darling of CES this year, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, and everyone wanted it so much that I've been waiting 3 months now, and so I'm bummed. Now, it's beyond my control. Both those products sold well more than they thought they would, so they can't do really anything. But all I know is every day, like a little kid, I go to the post box and no package, and I go home just kicking a rock. So when you can send out an item quickly, this camera, this speaker, get it out. Have your stuff ready. I got this whole shipping department here in my office. I get my stuff out quickly, and you'll have repeat customer because of that, and I guarantee it. And I've always done it that way, Raiken. I didn't, even the early days, I learned right away that I should probably ship daily. I was doing 3 days a week at the beginning, and I went right away. And if you look back on my feedback through Amazon and eBay, I would say 75% of it is, man, that was fast shipping. And I would just get it out in the one, and it's not one day, it's one business day. So, it could be almost 2 days. If someone orders at 12:01 a.m., you have to 11:59 p.m. the next day. So that's where people get wigged out. They're like, oh, I gotta get it out. I'm like, well, make sure you realize it's one business day.
Yeah. So not only do you gain the benefit of making your customers happy, which in turn is going to lead to repeat business and positive feedback, which is going to build that social proof. But also, I found in the past when I was selling full time, I had over 1,000 items in my store at one time, clothing items, and everything was 1-day shipping, free shipping. I found that by having the free shipping and especially the 1-day shipping, that it really created a competitive edge over the competition. Yep. And I would typically get 20 to 30% more on my items by having, I don't know if 1-day shipping and free shipping was it, because I had great pictures and great listings. There's so many factors, right? It's hard to say like that's it, right? It's got to be the free shipping. You don't know what it is, but I would get a lot more money for my items. I'd be willing to wait, but you can make more money too. I think is a fair statement with that free shipping. If there's 2 items listed, Jason, right? One's for 15 and one's for maybe $9, but the $9 is a week and the 15 is 1 day. I'm going 15. What about you?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I want my stuff now, and when I don't get it now, I get mad.
So we're at about halfway through the show, so I just wanted to thank everybody so far for watching. We're about 30 minutes in. We've got 30 minutes left. If you guys like this show, I know we got a lot. I want you to do 2 things right now. I want you to go into the comment section and say the thrifting board rocks. That's the first thing I want you to do, because I know we got a lot of thrifting board peeps in the house. And I'm always popping into your Facebook group from time to time. So I want to see who is watching now who is part of your Thrifting Board Facebook group. So I want to see Thrifting Board Rocks in the comment section right now. And also, I want you to hit the like button if you're enjoying listening to Jason T. Smith talk about eBay and all the tips that he's giving from his 16 years of experience. So we got the Celtic Traders coming in saying the Thrifting Board rocks. Honeybee Treasures, the Thrifting Board rocks. Nelly, want to be a picker. Nick Garces, Angelique K. Look at all these people. We even have someone who said the Thrifting Board rocks. So there's a lot of love coming in the comment section right now.
I think I'm blushing.
You guys are getting nervous now. Don't show that much love. But yeah, hit the like button, guys. Not only does it make us feel good and let us know that we're really helping you out, but it helps push it out. Speaking of algorithms, YouTube's algorithm does favor likes. So people think, we're always asking for likes because we get paid off of it. We don't get paid for the likes, nor do we get paid much from YouTube. But the likes help to kind of show that social proof, and then YouTube will push it out. So anyways, let's keep moving on. Let's talk about descriptions, Jason. How do you like to rock and roll when it comes to the description? Do you have listing templates? Do you have a template you copy and paste in? Do you use I don't know, don't they charge like $1 to have that sweet and sexy, colorful description that you can get? How do you roll with that, man?
I use InkFrog, and I've used it forever. So I rarely do a little bit list right through eBay, but that's pretty rare. So I have all my templates set up. That's why when I do have an assistant, it's pretty easy. I got my T-shirt template, I got my Hawaiian shirt template, I got my CD template, I got my Tiki mug template. So they're easy to follow. Just follow down, I've got, height of mug, width of mug, So it's really easy to follow. And with the new parameters, if you keep your descriptions under 800 characters, and that's letters, numbers, and spaces, it'll show the whole description on mobile. You gotta keep it under 800.
That's really key right there, because what percentage of people are buying from mobile based on what eBay's telling you and behind the scenes versus, desktop?
My mobile customers last month, I think, were like 37%.
That's significant.
Yeah, overall it's like 53 on the platform. But and I heard when they said we'll bring the whole description out to the front if you keep it under 800. If not, we pick and choose what comes out, and again, it's all an algorithm. I saw a few people complain. Now I hopped into one of my listings. I had listed 22 cassettes, so I listed artist and title, and I checked, and that was like 827 characters. And so I'm like, okay, I don't normally list lots of 20 where I had to spell out the whole lot, but if I can do it on that one, and I'm pretty damn close, I can do it on anything. And look, unless it's like a $10,000 chandelier, if your description on a T-shirt's over 800 characters, you are wasting your time.
Yeah.
People just want to write and write. Those days of writing stories and paragraphs and, okay, so I went to this thrift shop and I saw it in a dark corner and I moved all this. Those are long gone. We did that in the early 2000s. That was how we did it back then. Anymore? Nope.
I'm actually copying one of my templates because I actually have a very long template that I use, and I'm going to word counter right now, and I'm going to paste in to see how many words I have. I have a feeling that this is going to 3,559 characters.
Oh my God!
I am so messed up right now because I sell clothes, so I have literally, guys, you're going to see how whacked out I am right now live on YouTube. I've got, because this is what I do. I have a template, Jason, that I copy and paste in, so it says welcome to my store. We specialize in screwing up the algorithm. No, we specialize in providing
yeah, that's pretty much it.
We specialize in creating listings that eBay doesn't show because we use about 5 times more characters than necessary. But yeah, I've got my payment options, return, shipping, international buyers. I should probably take all of that out and just let my item specifics and my return policy just speak for itself, you're saying?
Yep, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was listening to eBay radio today and somebody called in with some issues and she wasn't using the condition field, and that's a must, and she wasn't using her item descriptions, not descriptions, I just lost the word. It sucks getting old, Raiken. It sucks getting old.
I wish I could.
Item specifics, thank you. The item specifics. Use those to your fullest, and if you've got one that isn't automatically pre-populated by eBay for that item, you can create as many as you want. But that's where eBay's pulling from. That's where the customers are. They rarely read our description. So, Raiken, you got this beautiful paragraph of how awesome your listings are. Nobody's going to read it or care. And, when I go buy something, I look at the picture, and I want to read a quick description. If I've got to read through paragraph after paragraph, and every other paragraph's a different color, I'm out. It's 2016. If you go to Target or Macy's.com, their shit don't look like that.
Yeah, that's right after this show. Mark my words. I'm going to trim off the fat because that turkey is fat. This turkey can't even walk. It's so fat. And I'm talking about my listing template. I'm going to trim the fat and try it out, because I've been noticing that some of my items haven't been getting as many views and stuff, and I think maybe that might be playing out because maybe people are getting turned off by it. So
Oh, yeah.
that's a really, really good tip. How about let's talk about pricing items, right? Because you can take great pictures, you can put in all the best keywords, you can get the algorithm real excited, and your item could be very relevant and people can see it, but you screw up on price. What's your, say you have an item like a tiki mug and you go to list it up. How do you generate a price? What do you do? What's your game plan when it comes to pricing an item on eBay?
I would say most of the things I sell, we'll say 80% are things that are in my wheelhouse. I know where the price is, so I just, it's a matter of that's 35, that's 42. But the other 20%, of course, I use eBay solds. I mean, that's the first place. And look, if you're new to this and you're coming to the green room or Raiken for help, or you come to the thrifting board or me for help, don't tell me what you see in active listings. Tell me what you see in solds. And I've had to break so many people, that my mom included, that I go, Ma, I could list this camera for $1 million. So don't base it on what's active, based on your solds. Now, and that does differ only if there's nothing in completes or solds, then yeah, you kind of got to look at actives and get at least a grasp. So I use that. I do Google. We had a person in our group the other day that had a concert T-shirt pulled, basically for being a bootleg, and it looked really good. Like, I would have never noticed, and I'm like the king of picking out bootleg shirts. And so doing a little Googling, if you know what you're looking for, I found through Google Images where other listings had been pulled too. And so I'm like, yeah, that's a shirt that they're really protecting for whatever reason. It wasn't that big of a band either, so I'm like, whatever. But so I use Google, I use Google Images, I use WorthPoint, I use TerraPeak. And those are the things that, boy, if you can't find it by then you ask the groups, my group, your group, like, anybody have any experience in selling a half-used bottle of Goo Gone? Well, what should this go for? Because then you'll find somebody, especially in my group, because like I said, we're closing in on 12,000. You will find an expert in half bottles of Goo Gone. So yes. If you can't find something by all of that, then you just got to wing it a prayer and hope, man. Just throw a price out there and see what happens.
Yeah, you could always gauge how much interest is coming into that product based on your view count and watchers. When I get a lot of views, or especially when I start getting a lot of watchers, I know I'm onto something, right? So you could always check to see the views and the watchers as well. Have you ever messed around with? I'm actually on eBay right now, and I'm looking down at the bottom, and I see sponsored links. So I know with Amazon, it's called Amazon's PPC. You pretty much pay per click, which means you can pay money to get your item to pretty much unorganically rise to the top. Do you have any experience, or do you know anything about sponsored links or paying to get your item ranked higher?
Yeah, the sponsored links are only for big companies, so don't even worry your pretty little face about it, because not me, not you, not the 180 people watching us. We are not that. We are not big. So, and then I know people are going to cry about that. Big companies get an unfair advantage. Yep, that's just life.
Money rules the world.
Yes, rich people have more fun than poor people. Absolutely, but that's just life. And if you get caught up in pissing and moaning about that, you're just going to waste your time, your energy. Just focus on what you can control and what you can do, and be the best at that. And don't get mad at others. I live in Vegas, where I walk past people playing 3 hands at a time of blackjack, 5,000 a hand. Do I get mad that every gamble they're betting is another car? No. Somehow they worked for it, or they lucked out. Okay, well, I worked for it. I don't got that kind of money. I didn't luck out to be married, to be born to rich parents.
You got lucky to get married.
But I was born to great parents. So I don't really get that. That doesn't bother me, but I see it does bother people. And, you're just wasting your energy. So focus on what you can control and be the best at that.
Yeah, that's a really good point right there. We've got James Tucker in the comment section. How's it going, James? Thanks for coming out and watching. We appreciate it. James asks, how about auction versus fixed pricing? Thoughts?
I don't use auction hardly at all, except today I got 250 free auctions. So I was going to do some relists on things that weren't selling. I'm like, all right, guess what? They're all going to auction. Half were $9.99, the other half are $14.99. If they sell for the opening bid, I'm just happy to get rid of them. So I use auctions when I want to get rid of crap. And because every once in a while, for whatever reason, one of the items that wouldn't sell at a buy it now or best offer sells with multiple bids at auction. So if I sell all these items for $9.99 or $14.99, I'll be happy to get rid of it. They will all have either made me $2 or broke even. But I guarantee you, in all those items, one of them will sell for way more than they should have for whatever weird reason. Right set of eyes, probably. So that's how I use auctions. But for the most part, it's buy it now or best offer. I usually price it about 20% higher than what the going rate is. That way I can haggle. That way the customer feels they get a deal. Or sometimes, back to rich people just want it now. They're just going to pay for it.
I like that. I like that. I'm on your side as well with the buy it nows and the best offers. Although sometimes I admit the best offers can be a little frustrating. I don't know if it's people just screwing with me. I had an item up, what was it, up for like $98, and they offered me like $4. I think it was somebody screwing with me. I don't know if. All
right. So here's the question. What'd you do with that offer?
I don't remember exactly. I think I offered them I took a penny off my price. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I think I probably
did you
just
counter?
rejected it.
Okay, so all right, so now it's time for you to learn, young one. Because I've had this conversation with thousands of people.
Let's bring it up, man. Let's do this live on the Raiken
YouTube channel. Screw this low offer. Okay, here's the deal. I once got a $5 offer and a $100 dress, and I felt the dress was worth like $75, $80. Based on what a lot of people say, I mean, there are whole Facebook groups on sharing names of eBay buyers to block because they don't like their offers. Yeah, let's block people that want to give us money. So, $100 dress, I think it's worth $75. Somebody offers me $5. I counter with $95. They accepted and paid immediately. They were dipping their toe in ever so lightly to see where I was, and when they saw where I was, they accepted, bought, paid, and left me great feedback.
Wow. So I would like to know in the comment section real quick, has that happened to anybody else before? Keep going, Jason.
So had I acted the way a lot of people act that we see on Facebook, I would have lost out on $95.
I think sometimes our emotions get the best of us. I know for me, sometimes I get a little wacky, right? And maybe I get emotional, and that's why they say don't get emotional in business. Because, maybe with that, I don't remember exactly what I did. I'd say 90% chance I just rejected it. I don't think I even countered them. You got to leave your emotions, right? You got to leave your emotions over there, because who knows, if I would have countered them and maybe something reasonable, they might have accepted it. So
right, because here's the deal. They opened a dialogue with you, Rick, and they're like, hey, I think I want to give you some money. And you didn't say, hey, I'd like some money. You said no by hitting decline.
One thing I do as well is with the counter offers, I don't know if you've ever done this, is how you could give the counter offer number and then there's like a description to write something. Sometimes I'll say like, thank you so much for your offer. If you accept this, I'll ship it fast and make sure it gets to you safely. Like, because you're extending that dialogue, and they're like, all right, this guy's a real person. Because sometimes on the internet you're just like, you think you're just like making offers to this like robot, but it's actually a real person. You can't see them. So.
Yeah. And I do that too, Raiken. All right, here. I'm going to tie all what we just talked about together in one big happy present. How's that sound?
Hey, man. Christmas coming early.
Yep. So, hang on a quick second here. I got to log out, and I'll tell you why in a second. So I listed an item that, going back to what we talked about before, I listed an item that I could not find anywhere. I knew it was rare, and I Googled, I eBayed, I worth pointed, I Terapeaked. I had nothing. And so I'm like, all right, I'll just guess. $200 or best offer. So here's the item. I'll do a little share screen with it here. There it is. Okay. So it's this little tiki, and it was a souvenir from the Travel Lodge in Tahiti back in the day. I think it was supposed to be a necklace. It's only 4 inches tall. But I didn't know what it was worth. I knew it was rare, couldn't find it, thought it'd be something cool. I threw it over $200, and someone offered me, and it was up for a few months, someone offered me $100. Now, based on what I see on Facebook groups, people would be so offended by a 50% offer that they would not only not even talk to the person, they would block them. I was like, okay, to me, that was worth $100. I didn't know what it was. Was this 4-inch statue worth 1,000 or 100? Well, nobody made me an offer, so somebody came by and said, I'll give you 100. Boom, there it is. It was worth $100. I didn't block them. I didn't get mad. I was happy to take $100.
And that's been sitting for 2 months, right? So, I mean, the market, some people think, an item sold maybe 2 times in the past for 1 or 200, that's what the value is. Well, value can change, right? Any thoughts on that? Because, I mean, look, it's been sitting for 2 months, right? What is the real value of anything? The value of anything is what someone's willing to pay, right?
Yeah, and actually, Raiken, I think it was like 5 or 6 months, actually.
Yeah.
I took it to a tiki event, didn't sell there. But yeah, and prices fluctuate. Like we'll go back to my normal tiki mugs. I list a tiki mug at $50 when it's normally selling at 40 because I do my 20% above. And then I realized, man, it's been listed for a while, and I go look, and now they're selling for like 32. Okay, well, I'm a little high now, so I can either leave it high, or if I want to move it and be competitive, I got to readjust because, especially with collectibles, they go up and down all the time. And what I do on a normal day, if it's just a normal work day and I'm home and I'm not on the road, at the end of every night, I look at every single tiki thing that got sold that day on eBay. And so I know the fluctuation of my niche every day. And so if I see I'm off on something, or the better thing is, since I have this huge collection in my house, if I see something that's worth $300 that I paid $10 at a garage sale 5 years ago, I'm trotting over to get it, and I'm listing it right now. Because other than about 10 or 12 items in my collection, the rest can go. If they're worth that much all of a sudden, buy.
And that's the cool thing about really understanding and being an expert in a niche. And that was our next segment, was to find a niche or not to find a niche. Personally, I find that really owning a niche and becoming an expert in it gives you that competitive edge because you really know what's in demand, what the market wants, how to price it. I know, when I used to be selling clothes really heavy, I knew that certain colors and certain designs and patterns and materials were just hot and in demand. And, things change over time. But to find a niche or to not find a niche, Jason, let's say someone's just getting started. Do you want someone to really master something, or what are your thoughts?
Well, the exception of a few people, and a few even are friends in my life, everyone knows or collects something. And I used to say everyone until I met my friends who used to live here, and I walked into their house, and when we first met them, I go, did you guys just move in? That's how bare their house was. It was like your last place. They're like, no, we've lived here for 7 years. I'm like,
painting.
They lived there for 7 years, Raiken. They had a room with no furniture in it because they didn't know what to do with it yet. I'm like, what? Anyway, that's the rare exception. Most people collect something or know something really well, whether it's Beanie Babies, tiki mugs, old postcards. So exploit your niche. Get into it. Find the listings on eBay that were written poorly or priced poorly. Buy them and flip them on eBay. Like I do, study it every night, so know where the arcs are, what's hot, what's not, and then sell and list accordingly. And I do that so much so I'm actually speaking about it for the first time next month in Palm Springs at a tiki event. And my buddy who throws the event said, "You want to talk?" And I said, "Sure." And there's only 4 symposiums. 3 are all about drinking cocktails, including drinking them at the symposium. I'm the only non-cocktail one, but you can still drink in my symposium. But I said, sure. And he goes, all right, I need your title and the price for your symposium in 3 weeks. And I'd forgot about it. So he goes, it's due today. And I looked at our original message. I go, it's due tomorrow. I got 12 hours. Shut up. So I said to my wife, I go, am I really going to talk to other tiki collectors about collecting? Because for the most part, they'll all be at my level, and some are higher than me. And she goes, what I think you should do is talk about some of your scores, how you found them, because you have some sweet stories about how you found some cool scores. But then you should talk about how to sell it better. And because we all, even if you're not a normal seller in most collectors, you tend to end up with doubles and triples, and you're like, well, I'm out of room, I might as well sell my extras. So I'm going to lead them down the path of more riches, hopefully. That's my goal.
Cool, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck. You said it was your first time ever speaking at one of those types of engagements. So that's awesome, man. If you could get a recording of that, that would be really, really cool. If you could set up a camera or something. But I'm sure you'll kill it, man. Let's keep moving because we're running out of time, and I want to answer some questions.
Sure, yeah.
What's a key to success you can give to somebody? I mean, you've got a group, the Thrifting Board. You've got over 11,000 members. I know you talk to hundreds of people probably each and every day. You've seen people fail. You've seen people succeed. You've seen what certain people are doing to rise to the top, and I'm sure you've seen certain traits and characteristics in people that really cause them not to really grow. What's a key to success that you can give to somebody?
Kind of what we touched on already. Keep the emotion out of it when you're dealing with even like doing returns. People get all emotional. They want to return it. I don't care. Return it. And usually I can sell something returned for more than I sold it for the first time. So keep emotions out of it. It's just business. Emotions are for your family and your kids, and that's when you can be emotional. Or when you watch a sad movie, like when you watch Rudy.
Yeah.
You tear up at the end. But if somebody just wants to return something, keep that emotion out of it. But keep learning. Like every day I learn, and every once in a while I'll ask a question in my group, and people are like, "Jason's asking a question." Their eyes get all big. I'm like, hell yeah, I don't know everything. And when I'm in a thrift store and I've got something super cool in my hand and I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it is so much, I don't even know what to look up. I got to ask for help. And of course, I'm going right to my group because they're awesome.
Yeah, we never know it all, and I think it's very humbling to see someone like you asking questions and stuff. It just shows that you're real, and I think it sets a good example too, because I've had times where I got caught up and you get cocky and you think you know it all. Yeah, right. Nobody knows it all. There's so much to learn in this game of reselling and entrepreneurship. So that's really, really cool that you truly believe that, and you play that out in your group as well. Looks like we got about 8 or 9 minutes left. So if it's cool with you, do you want to open up the floor for some Q&A, hot seat action?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. It looks like, yeah, we got 199 people watching, only 94 likes. So Jason, tell them, what should they do, man?
You should click that thumbs up down below.
Thumbs it up.
You should subscribe too. That'd be another good thing.
Every single time you hit the like button, Jason's beard grows a little longer. So we're trying to get it to hit the floor by the end of this broadcast. Okay, let's see. By the way, I love that beard.
Thank you. I love my beard too.
How long is it taking to grow it out that much?
Well, luckily my neighbor across the street is a beautician, so she has a little shop in her garage for her friends. So she trims it up every couple months, so it stays about this length. But this was my winter beard from 9 years ago. So because I used to grow it out in the winter because I get lazy, and then the spring I would just trim it back to a goatee, and then one spring I just didn't. And at first my wife was annoyed, but now she loves my beard.
Hey, it helps you to stand out. So yeah, you guys, I'm in the comment section right now. Jason, if you want to jump in the comment section as well. We're going to start picking out some questions to ask Jason. So I'm in here. I'm looking. I see Matt in the house. I see Melissa, Sanad. It looks like Darren Eckelman in the house. What's up, Darren? Good to see you. Asked, does eBay refund fees on a 30-day return?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, they're the ones setting it up for us to do 30-day returns. It would be really unfair if they were like, screw your fees. Now, of course, yeah. If you have to do a return, then they'll absolutely
awesome.
Return it.
Toronto Greenhouse asks, what was Jason's biggest dollar amount sale?
Oh, it just happened. Oh, no. Well, the biggest was not something I owned. It was something my mom owned. She had a watch that I ended up selling for $15,000 on eBay. But I just had my first, or not my first, but my biggest sale of something I discovered myself. And, oops, chairs. And I will show you because it just happened. And the customer said, oh, I love them. So here they are. I sold these.
I'm excited.
Yeah, there we go. I sold these 4 Herman Miller chairs for $5,000.
What?
But the best part is I have 10 more to go.
Tell us a little bit real quick. I want to keep you on the hot seat, but what's the story behind that? Holy moly.
Well, it'll be in a book that I'm almost done writing now that I've sold them, or part of them. They were rescued from the Riviera Casino closing sale. And they were kind of found by me and my neighbor, and we got a sweet deal on them. And that was the first 4 we sold for $5,000, and we have 10 more. And the bummer is, of the last 10, 9 are in the same condition as these 4, which are very good from being from 1979, and one was beat to death. I have no clue what happened to this poor one chair. So we have 9 good ones and one really sad one.
That's amazing.
But we think we might have a couple customers on the line for maybe 10 grand for the last 10. So that'll be my biggest sale when all that smoke clears.
Hey, thanks for sharing that, man. That is freaking spectacular.
Somebody just said the Riviera is closing. Oh, it closed a long time ago. It's actually being blown up in a few weeks. But if you go and watch the new Jason Bourne movie, they made it look like it was open 2 months ago, and they had a car chase where they crashed right into the Riviera. So when you see that was after it closed. They set it up to look like it was open again.
Is it worth selling books on eBay? Or because you know Amazon's the king, but is it worth it? Or are there certain books that you find are better on eBay?
Yeah, I don't do a ton of books, and I get lazy. So the books I do find, I just list on Amazon Merchant Fulfill, because a quick type of the ISBN and my condition and price, I'm done. So, but I do a little bit on eBay, but for the most part, my book game could be stepped up.
Cool. I'm just looking through the comments. Question. How did you decide to price those at $5,000?
We saw that chair sell individually for around $1,200 to $1,500 a piece, and we were trying to sell the whole 14 lot for 25 grand at first. And somebody said, "Hey, I'll take 4," and we had them up for 7 months, 6 months. So we're like, absolutely. So yeah, that 4 alone, my neighbor and I are splitting this 50-50. We're both nicely into profit already.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you're already in the green. That's cool.
Yeah, but you'll have to buy the book. The book's going to be about the trials and tribulations of picking a closed business and how to get the most for it. I wrote the whole book on a plane ride once, but I was waiting for some of the chairs to sell because I didn't want to end the book with, and maybe they'll sell someday. Now I've got some sales.
Okay.
I could end the book. And if somebody was asking who Herman Miller is, go look him up. He was one of the most incredible furniture designers of the 50s.
I got my buddy Cody Orgel. He's actually from Australia and a fellow Green Room member. Cody had a really cool comment he just put out. Jason loved the TV show. Really influenced my decision to get into this eBay game. Thanks, mate.
Oh, well, thank you very much. If I could tell a quick story, we were at an all-day concert in the parking lot of the Orleans Casino on Saturday. It's a rockabilly event that happens every year. Brian Setzer was about to play, and this guy was wearing this cool jacket. I was with my mom. My mom's like, "Hey, I like your jacket." So they started talking about it, and my mom brought him over to show me. And he goes, and he was from Norway, and he goes, "You know, you look a lot like that guy from the thrifting show." And I said, it's because I am that guy from the thrifting show. So it blew his mind.
Oh, man.
That my mom just talked to him. Then he realized I was that guy. And, yeah, I do get recognized quite a bit. But speaking of Australia, my show this coming Thursday night, Thrifty Business with J&A, we're having our first Australian guest on. So we have a thrifter from Australia who we had to figure out all these time zone changes because she's in Melbourne right now, but she's going to her sister's house in Perth, which is 2 hours difference, and then it's like 14 hours difference. So we're gonna be talking the trials and tribulations of thrifting in different parts of the world.
That's really cool. So Cody, be sure to check that out. That's going to be a really awesome show. Did you ship those chairs? Somebody wanted to know, how did you ship them, or was it a local pickup? I
had the best customer ever. She figured out where to take the chairs. She set up the account at a freight shipper. So not that I wouldn't have done it, but she took the ball and said, "Okay, you're going to this address, and you're talking to this person, and they'll get them shipped to me." So I was like, "Wow, that's the best customer ever."
That's crazy. Somebody said earlier, I saw the comment, nobody rich shops on eBay. I'm thinking that if they paid $5,000 for some chairs, I don't know, they must be a little rich.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she's got some money. And but now I know where I didn't get the actual price because I wasn't the client for the shipper, but I know each chair was 33 pounds without its crate. So it's one of those companies where all they do is you bring an object and it's just wood and guys and saws and they build crates. So
that's cool, man. I was just laughing, man. Somebody says, "Do you ever worry about cooties being on clothing?"
I never have, and man, I brought in a lot of used clothing. I don't normally wash it, but knock on wood. So far, so good.
Let's see. Is your TV show still going on?
Nope. We
Somebody
had we
just
had
asked.
we had 2 seasons, and then Spike changed their logo. Once they changed their logo, I knew we were in trouble. So they got
Yeah.
rid of their 6 smaller shows, and they added things like Lip Sync Battle with a bunch of A-listers and hot chicks. I'm neither an A-lister nor a hot chick, so I lost out.
Wait.
Auction. Yeah, I know.
Did you say hot chicks?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble.
But you never know, and you might see me again on TV. Wink, wink.
Hey, we should get you on, man. I can't say it, but I bet you there's people contacting you behind the scenes. But that's a whole nother story, man, because you're quite the personality, man. And you know what? Maybe when the time's right, something new will come your way. But it looks like it's about 8 o'clock, so I want to keep us to our time limits. I know you're a busy guy. You got things to do, and you probably got to get back. Since I interrupted your nap, right? Your nap time.
Yeah, I had to get a nap today. My wife and I and our 2 dogs love to take group naps together because my wife works out of the house now and she works on East Coast time. So when it's about 3:30 and we're both dragging a little bit, they're like, "Hey, want to take a quick nap?" We grab the pugs, we all curl up, and then I get back to work. So quick nap, get up, make some dinner, and then I have a little downstairs desk I work at. So tonight I'll be listing all kinds of shit tonight.
Are you downstairs or is this like your?
No, this is upstairs in my office.
Oh, okay.
And then I have a table behind my wife where she sits on the couch. So we're essentially still sitting together, but I can work. We can watch TV.
Oh, that's cool.
When you like what you do,
yeah.
Working long hours does not bother you.
Awesome. Well, hey, Jason, I'm going to let you get going now. We're at that hour limit. I want to thank everybody who took the time to watch this video. I know there's other things you could be doing, right? There's a million things you could be doing other than watching us, but you took the time to watch this video, and hopefully you were able to learn something. All it takes is one piece of information to really help you to make more money, grow your business, and just change your life. I know the one thing that I got out of this was the tip that Jason gave me in regards to the 800 character limit that will allow the mobile users to see your whole listing. So that, for me alone, that is like a game changer for me, and I know that's going to help to grow my business. Hopefully that and a lot of the other tips were able to be that game changer for you and help you to take your business to the next level. Just don't give up. Keep pushing. Keep learning. Make sure to check out Jason's free Facebook group that is about 11,000 members deep right now. That is the Thrifting Board. I keep wanting to say the old name. That's why I have to keep looking over to my – I want to say Thrifting with the boys. But, yeah, the Thrifting Board. Go over to the Thrifting Board on Facebook. Join that. Do you have any other places that you'd like people to check you out and ask you a question if they have it?
I do have a fan page for thrift hunters. I do post some cool. Anytime I find a cool thrifting article, I post it on there, and then I have a fan page for Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay, and we do caption contests and fun stuff from time to time. So you can find me anywhere on Facebook. I'm always there to help, and I'm happy to help. And I see someone just posted some tiki mug questions in the group. So
and Periscope too. You're live on Periscope doing the live shows every now and then. I see you.
Yeah, so and I'm gonna do one tomorrow because excuse me, I missed a couple days. So yeah, at Tiki Pug on Periscope.
Awesome, guys. Thanks again. Hit the like button if you can. Show some love. Join the Thrifting Board, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much. We appreciate you all. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.